Okay, now that we have the XML file in the system directories, we can move into Cacti GUI and get the templates built. And there's a couple different templates we have to get done. We have to build a data template, a data query, and then a graph template. Actually, it'll go data template, graph template, and then data query. So let's get the data template built first. The template that we will use will look a lot like the WADIP template, so we'll just go ahead and copy that. And alright, so now we can go into that template, and we don't need nearly as many here, so we can delete some of these. And one more. Alright, so these will all be counters, and we can just rename here. See, did that blow away my thing? Do I need to save that? Yeah, okay. That's one of the annoying things in Cacti, is every screen needs a save, which isn't so bad, but it dumps you out of the template and then you have to go back in, which is kind of a bummer, and I just went to the wrong one. And there we go. Alright. And we had drops. Save that. And a couple more changes here. We had fallbacks, prefers, and returns as well. So good. Prefers. And then one more. Returns. We also need to change this to pool stats. Label that GTM, since I think we get confused with LTM there. Alright, and the only other thing I want to point out before we leave this template is you want to check the output type ID, index value, and index type if you're creating these templates from scratch when you're building indexed SNMP templates. Those three you'll definitely want checked. All right. So we have the data template built. Let's go build the graph template now. And we'll just create this one from scratch. Maybe. There we go. All right. We want to name this F5 GTM pool statistics. Title's going to be, if I can type, host description GTM pool stats. Make these a little taller than the normal graphs. Okay. And the vertical label we want to have here is, there we go, requests per second. So let's go ahead and create that. And now we get to add in all the graph template items. So we're going to start with there we go. Start with prefers, and this should be, we'll start with blue. And the graph type item should be area. Although you can make this anything you want. You can make it a line. I prefer area. And then where's text format? Okay. Yep. And create. Alright, and then we need to add some legend. So no color, we want a gprint, and we want last, and that's going to be current. And then we want the average. And then we want the max. And now that we're done with that data point, we'll insert a hard return and move on to the next data point, which will be alternates. And that we're going to stack on top, and do want the average there. And then again we want our gprints. Oh, I saw a problem in the other one. We'll go fix that in just a second. Gprint last. Here I did not change the CF type from average to maximum. There we go. We want gprint average. Average. And then we want the maximum again for alternates. Insert a hard return and create. I'll go ahead and pause here real quick and build out the rest of these. Okay, I've built out most of the rest of these. I'm just finishing up the last gprint here for the last data point. Actually, that needs to be max. Maximum. Insert a hard return and create. Okay, so we have all of our data points now. One of the things I did not do is set the colors on the rest of these, so we'll go ahead and set those. And you can set them to whatever floats your boat. Do blue and green, and then we'll do a red. And let's see what else here. Let's do orange. And then let's do black. Okay, so now we have our graph template built, and now we can go to our data query. Sorry. And here it will look much like the what IP stats. We'll have an associated graph template. We need to find the XML file that we built, and so we can go back here and create Alright, so we're going to call this FTG pool stats. Put that, remember, in SNMP queries, and we called it F5_GTM pool stat.xml. And the data input method is get SNMP data indexed. Go ahead and create that. And so it found our XML file, which is good. And we want to add a graph template. And we want to add the one we just created, F5GTM pool stats. And we can call this GTM and create. And now what it's going to do is it's going to have our data sources that we named in our data template, but now we have to match those up to the names from the XML file. So drops should be to dropped, fallback to fallback, prefers is already set, and return to DNS. Okay, and we want to enable all of those. And then we actually want to have these mapped or named correctly. And so this should be DNS. Wrong key. Field name would be name, and then we can And we'll do the same thing for the title. And click Add. And now we can save. Okay, so now we can add that to our F5 host template, that data query, and it's already there pre-selected for us. Alright, so okay, we have that associated. However, that does not grandfather automatically to already discovered devices, so I'm going to have to add that to the LTM as well. So down here we can add, and that's successful. That's good. So if we look at the verbose query here, we'll see that it found our pools that that I created, and that's good news. Okay, so now we should be able to create graphs for this host, and we want to create, actually we can select that, we want to create them all. So those are created. Now we want to move them onto our LTM01 graph tree. Click Go. Alright. Now we can wait for that to populate, but I don't have any data going against that, so we're going to have Perl and PowerShell do that, a little bit of that for us. So let me open up a shell here. Okay, so let's get PowerShell going first, because it doesn't query quite as fast as Perl does. I won't say the shell doesn't, but the system I'm running on does not query as quickly in PowerShell as it does in Perl. Alright. Alright, let's go over, let's see, sudo vi, gtm dig. Alright. Come on. Set up some variables here for the host, the wide IP, and the count max. Alright, get our for loop going. My count equals 0. Count less than or equal to our count max variable. And count plus plus. Make a system call to dig. We're going to dig at our host. We're going to pull the wide IP. Why do I do this to myself? No comments, no questions, no command, CL, no authority. And we want to grep the wide IP A record, and we only want the IP address returned. System And good. Let's chmod that. And run it. And host testweb.com, and we'll go 50,000 on this. What did I type incorrectly? We'll try that again. That is the wrong server. Let's see what I did wrong here. That would be it. Actually, there we go. All right. So we should be able to see data populating here pretty shortly in our graphs. Let's see in some. I'll pause here for 5 to 10 minutes, see if we can get some more data in here. Okay, with Perl and PowerShell going nuts with requests, we should have some data in here now. And we see on the wide IP we have a max of 34 requests, and 34 resolutions is the current. So we should be able to piece that together down here in the GTM pools. So we see that 5.6, 11.2, that's 16.8, and 16.8 is about 33.6, roughly the 34. So yeah, we can see our traffic's coming in, our requests are coming in, and they're being graphed as we expected. So that concludes this tutorial. Thanks.